Welcome back in live to another episode of Rock Boys Football. The college football season is done and it's time for the 2022 NFL Draft season. We've been cranking out mock drafts, and today we have Logan Hoover, a Browns fan. Feel bad for the kid. Who's going to take us through a little mock. He's going to set the stage to see where we're going to fucking lean and go towards. Hoove, I'll just kick it off to you. What are we looking to do here for the Browns? What are some big positions that we should be looking at? And give us a little Baker Mayfield outlook.
A little Baker Mayfield slander.
Yeah, maybe a little slander.
No, I mean what they should be looking for, obviously in the first round, their wide receiver room right now is just in complete shambles. Yeah. It's brutal. Obviously starting the year, everyone's excited. You're getting Odell back. Hopefully, you were hoping he's fully healthy.
Odell looked nice in the offseason, bro.
I know, dude. He looks sick. We fell for the training videos once again. The freaking training, yeah. But along with Jarvis, and then throughout training camp, everybody was saying how unreal, how unreal Donovan Peoples-Jones looked the whole camp. He's supposed to take this, massive stride this year. It just didn't look like it happened. I still think, he's a good player. I think he'll maybe work out. We'll see.
I think he's a wide receiver 3. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. That's his position.
And Jarvis isn't a wide receiver 1. So, going into this first round, we're looking to get maybe a stud wide receiver, Garrett Wilson, Chris Olave.
Yep.
Got to be high on our boards here.
Yep, obviously the injury, though. I really wanted Jameson Williams for that.
That's too bad, yeah.
Kind of sucks what happened last night, but it's whatever. Other than wide receiver, obviously, linebacker room's pretty weak at the moment. They hit on they hit on JOK last year, but obviously he was hurt for a lot of this year, a lot of injury problems, COVID protocols, and everything like that. But besides him, like Mac Wilson, Malcolm Smith, Anthony Walker, all those guys just not great, but it's another thing they need to work on. And then obviously interior on the defensive line, they definitely need to improve on. Yeah. And then probably defensive end as well, assuming, Jadeveon Clowney's a free agent, and then Takk McKinley's a free agent. So those are a couple things they need to take care of. It would be awesome to have Clowney back this year. He had a sick year this year.
He looked
one
good.
Of his best years. He looked really good this year. And along with him and Garrett, they're obviously a sick duo. But because he had a really good year, he's probably going to be one, though. Yeah, he's going to be one. He's going to be one a shit ton of money this year, dude. Yeah. Well, that'd be great to have him back, but I don't know if they'll be able to pay him.
So let's fire this mock up, and we'll just kind of go along, see who falls, and see how we can rebuild the Browns from just a epically disappointing year.
Yeah,
a lot of people had high hopes for the Browns. They started off well, and honestly, injuries. Baker was clearly playing hurt. I'm not going to speak too much on him. I think he's got to prove it year in this 5th year, and then we'll see where it goes after that.
Yeah, I mean, it sucks. I mean, it's weird because, the first 3 or 4 weeks of the season, he was the most accurate passer in the league, highest completion percentage out of any quarterback in the league. And then obviously the injury happens, and then just a steep derail. I mean, I know he's capable of being a top-tier quarterback.
Yeah.
Saw it in 2020. Second half of the year in 2020, he threw 20 touchdowns to 2 interceptions, which is just nuts. Yeah.
So let's go get him Chris Olave right now. He's the best wide receiver on the board. He falls. Unfortunately, I believe Garrett Wilson goes 5 to the Giants. So we're going to go get Chris Olave, who is my number 2 wide receiver behind Garrett Wilson. But again, splitting hairs with those two. Chris Olave runs phenomenal routes. He's very good ball skills, separates at an elite level. I think he's more of a blue chip prospect than Wilson, quite frankly. He's done it longer. He's set the Ohio State touchdown record. I mean, think about it. Mike Thomas has been there, Paris Campbell, some legit dudes, and he's one of the best to ever do it. Trust me, we as Michigan fans know all too well, but dude's a stud. So Kobe Dean was very close to falling too. I know we had our eye on him. Let's see who falls to 44 here. We're going to reject this trade offer. So we're looking at linebacker, and I know there's some linebackers that I kind of like to keep an eye on here. Henry To'oTo'o, Quay Walker, we both saw yesterday. I would have really liked Christian Harris, but I think Christian Harris.
I would love Christian Harris at this position, but
yeah,
I think he might be gone by then.
He's gonzo. I wonder what I mean. This is a little rich. We're gonna go back to the big board here. Thinking about pass rusher, thinking the offensive line's been all right for the Browns. Can't complain too
Yeah,
much there. Just went and got Jedrick
no,
Willis. Um,
a lot of
got Grant
injuries this
Delpit
year
from
too on the
LSU.
offensive line.
Yeah, that's true. And that's one of the things we've been doing all these mocks. Like you can never get enough depth at that offensive line position.
No, you can't. Yeah,
Because guys get rolled up on, they get banged up. It's a long season, especially 17 games now. So
right.
you can never really. Roger McCreary is a guy that I freaking love out of Auburn, but I think this
Yeah,
might be a little rich to go get him. Honestly, Nick Bonito from Oklahoma might be the
yeah,
best pure pass rusher
yeah,
in the class. Not as strong in the run game, but I think if we
no,
can address maybe get some good D tackle guys in the run game. Tommy Togiai, who got selected last year, is very solid.
mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go. Let's go up and get Nick Bonito, who's legitimately one of the best pass rushers. PFF grades him as I think the number one pure pass rusher in the NFL. It just can't play the run as well, and that might just be a technique thing, right? That might be a mindset
Yep.
technique thing that you can fix. Dude's got all the intangibles here. I just worry it's a little rich for him because he's definitely more of a late second, early third grade for most
100%.
people. I like him more though, so I'll go get a guy that I like more.
Yep. Let's get the best player.
We're looking back at the big board as I love Daniel Falele. Quay Walker's going. Some of my backers are going. Not great. All right, we fall to at 78.
Yep.
I think this is a good time to actually look at backer. There's a lot of really fast linebackers. Chad Mumma, I'm not as big of a fan of as many people out of Wyoming. I think he'll need a Senior Bowl. He needs to show that he can do it at a high level. Channing Tindall's a guy. If you were watching last night, 41 Georgia Bulldogs,
Yep.
these linebackers fly around the field.
Yeah, they're nasty.
And that's like the modern linebacker. You got to have guys who are good in space, who can tackle in open space and cover guys in the flat and man coverage. Channing Tindall can do that just as much as anybody in the country. Those three linebackers with him, Quay Walker and Nakobe Dean, were just phenomenal. He's one of my favorite linebackers in the class. Is there anyone else that's jumping out of you before we go Channing Tindall there? Which again is a little bit rich, but you might not be very familiar with Travis Jones out of Connecticut. He's 6'3", 350, or he's 6'5", 350. He's a massive D tackle. I know you mentioned that you could maybe beef up there. What are you thinking about that?
Yeah, I didn't watch too much Connecticut this year, to be honest with you. But
what do you mean, bro? You don't watch UConn football?
No, I don't watch UConn football, to be honest with you, bro.
I couldn't find any film on him. I just am going
really?
off of like what people are saying. Like I try to find film because like
no
UConn football like doesn't exist. I can barely get their stats. Like, he'll be at the Senior Bowl though, so we'll get him in here. I actually don't mind that pick. You mentioned that you guys could use some help there.
Oh, 100%. Yeah,
and that's another position that we mentioned depth at the offensive line spot. Those big dogs on defensive line, they need breathers. Like they need breaks. Yeah. You got to rotate them in. You got to have a staple of them.
And, you do. And that was the problem this year. I mean, when the Browns' offensive line is completely healthy, it's probably, if not the best, but one of the best in all of football. But that was the problem this year. A lot of guys hurt. Jack Conklin was out for a good amount of games. Jedrick Willis had an ankle injury almost the whole year. Just didn't look the same as last year.
Yeah.
But just little things like that. And obviously they didn't have the best depth in the world. And Baker's back there getting sacked, 5 times a game with the torn labrum.
Baker was, dude. He was just getting beat up. Yeah, let's go get Travis Jones, I guess. The tackle out of UConn. Again, he's a Senior Bowl guy. I'll say it with a lot of these non-Power 5 guys. You're going to need to go down to Mobile, Alabama, and go play against the other Power 5 seniors and show you can hang with the big dogs. And if you can, you'll be like a Quinn Miners who jumps up from Wisconsin Whitewater up into the second round. And if you can't, you're going to fall to day 3. I'm optimistic about that kid from UConn. So he's got the body. I mean, like he's literally like he's Jordan Davis like body wise. All right, we got an early pick in round 4. Not really sure where y'all got it from, but we'll take it. Back to our big board. I hope Channing Tindall might be still on the board. He is. I would advise Channing Tindall here. He flies around the board. I mean, we talked about getting linebackers who can go sideline to sideline.
Yeah.
Channing Tindall can do it. I could not believe how fast that. I think their linebackers were faster than their DBs. I mean, these
I
guys are
agree.
just flying around the field, and
Dude, they're just freak athletes.
let's go get this. I feel like this is a no brainer. I mean, we saw with JOK like gets fast
Yeah.
linebackers who can hit holes hard and chase guys down. And I mean,
Right. Just athletes. It seems like the way the NFL is going.
It is right. It is
Yeah.
like it's the Gone with the Wind or the Brian Urlacher box linebackers who are between the tackles. You got to be able to cover. You got to be good in space. And JOK, Channing, Jacob Phillips, how has he been? Like, what's he been doing?
I mean, he's been good. Like that was another guy that was hurt most of the year too. He had I believe it was a pectoral injury. I mean, he didn't come back until towards the end of the season. So I mean, he's another guy that will hopefully turn out to be really good because before he got hurt this year, he was having a pretty good year.
Interesting pick here. George Pickens, John Mechie, both guys. John Mechie with the most recent ACL tear. George Pickens with an ACL tear in, I believe it was March, which is just incredible that he's playing football right now.
Yeah, no, it's nuts.
I'm a George Pickens fan. This is a George Pickens fan club. Very, very big, very, very physical, great ball skills. Doesn't separate necessarily as good as the rest. Doesn't have the burners as much as the rest. But I mean, when you're that big, when you're that strong, with that good of ball skills, you're gonna be a good wide. You're gonna be a good wide receiver.
And if you can get him that late too, then it's like why not?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So like him and like a Justin Ross, like George Pickens is a legit first round guy if he doesn't tear his ACL.
If he's healthy.
You're saying like, hey, most guys are getting back from ACL injuries. Like the medical procedures are getting very, very effective. Like guys aren't hampered by ACL injuries throughout their career. So you're picking a guy with let's go get him. I mean, John Mechie's also on the board, which makes me, but John Mechie probably won't be ready for his rookie season, which is I try to avoid that, like getting rookies who aren't going to be there during those early years because that's where you learn. That's where you get it going.
Yeah, that's when you got to develop. Yeah.
And you miss that year, and it's just tough because then it's like you miss your rookie year, and then your second year you're a rookie, and then your third year you're just.
And that's the complete opposite of what the Browns need right now because, like I said, the wide receiver room is in complete shambles. So first round they need a guy like that can produce right away.
And like more the wide receiver one boundary guys. Like, and that's what George Pickens is. So let's go get George Pickens, man. We were talking about him before the pod. That's a sick pick. There's a couple guys that I really like on the offensive line that could just be depth guys. Again, round 4, day 3 picks. Like you're just looking for guys who are kind of diamonds in the rough a little bit.
Right.
Especially looking at the contracts that haven't been like Jack Conklin's up on contract after next year.
Yep. JC Treader is going to be too.
So you got some guys.
There's a couple depth guys this year too, I believe, that are.
Yeah. And you can never get enough solid offensive linemen. Yeah. We'll see. Yeah, there's one guy I have my eye on if he falls. And he falls. Jamari Salyer from Georgia. He's played. I see him more. We talk about. I mean, if you were like a consistent at the channel, like you've heard this guy's name, I think he'll be a day 2 pick easily when the process is over. Played left tackle for Georgia the whole season. I see him as a guard in the NFL, but he showed he can play left tackle on a championship-winning SEC football team, and so like he can play left tackle at a high level. He's 6'4", 325, so he doesn't have that tackle length, but he will be a dynamite guard. Like there is like no doubt in my mind if he kicks inside, he will be a sick guard.
100%.
And so that's kind of what we're on late round 4, I believe. Look for a guy who can fill in wherever he needs to go. He started the game last night left tackle and then moved to right guard, so he can play all over the field or all over that offensive line. Fill in for whoever's out with some nicks and bruises for a couple weeks. So let's go get Jamar Salyer. And he's also like a good locker room guy. Like, you're getting a high character dude who came back to go win a national championship, made it happen, was one of the leaders on that football team.
Exactly.
I think that's a good pick. We're getting a nice little haul here. If the Bills pick win Lake, I'm going to freak out. They better not think about doing that in real life. Warren McClennan's another guy. He's the other Georgia tackle. I'm playing right. How's that UCLA kid, that running back? How's he looked? Freaking Felton, Demetric Felton.
Demetric Felton, yeah.
Not
yeah,
really
Stefanski didn't use him. No, I mean, I'm sure he'll be a good player, but he really didn't get used like at all.
Not even with the COVID,
no,
like
which made no sense to me.
Dearness Johnson's.
But I mean, yeah, Dearness has been very good. But yeah, it made no sense to me. They used him a good amount in the first part of the year. Like the Texans game, he had a sick touchdown run. And I believe last week he had a good touchdown as well. But yeah, he really didn't even get used that much, even with all the COVID and everything like that.
Yeah, it's a deep backfield. And obviously you don't want to be taking Nick Chubb off the field that much. So
no, even though Stefanski does that regardless. Even
the reason I asked is because Jared Neely he kind of reminds me of him, just like a smaller, shiftier back. I don't mean to go double offensive lineman, but Max Mitchell's jumping out at me. He's another non-power 5 guy who's playing tackle at Louisiana. I could see him more as a guard too. Goes like 299, so he's much smaller. Definitely room to fill out that frame a little bit, but grades as the best tackle in Power 5 and the FBS from PFF.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't hate that pick. Let's kind of like keep looking a little bit though. We got Nick Bonito at the edge. I wonder if there's any other. Oh, Josh Pascal. I don't know if you know much about him. These are kind of getting to like the degenerate range a little bit. Josh Pascal's he's another guy similar to what I was saying about Jamari Salyer. He can kind of play wherever you want him at that defensive line position. He goes about 284, I believe. That's what his weight is. And so he's kind of a tweener, and I think that's what's hurting him. But dude plays violent, has a phenomenal get off. I was actually up late the other night when I was off from work, just sending film to Rock about this kid. And it's just like this dude is like phenomenal get off for being 285.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you're into that. I know the D line was something you wanted to address.
Yeah, 100%. I'd be into that pick.
Would you go Pascal, Kentucky Power 5 SEC guy who is a 5th-year senior, kind of proven, but maybe limited ceiling, or tackle Max Mitchell, more unproven but higher ceiling? What are you thinking for the Browns?
I'm going higher ceiling.
Max Mitchell, higher ceiling. Classic Browns fans. They go big or go home. Mostly go home. Hell yeah. I think that we got like maybe 1 or 2 more picks.
Yeah.
Let's finish strong. Some of these guys, like I'm gonna be like straight. There's some guys that I see now that I don't even know who these kids are. But well, there's always a few that I'm like, I know him. I like him.
Right.
We'll see.
Rock.
That's crazy. Not now, Rock. Damn it.
Idiot.
Who wants to play PAX? We getting on PAX after this?
Yeah, I am.
Hell yeah.
Oh, wow, God, we can't even play Rams.
Rock. 222, early round 7. Okay, it's looking slim.
It's not looking great.
Here's a guy that kind of like we passed on Josh Pascal, Myron Tagovailoa, Amosa. A little bit similar guys, like good pass rushers. I want to check this guy's weight real quick. How do you spell that name? That's a crazy name. Myron Tagovailoa. I watched a little bit of him. I need to watch more film of this guy. Notre Dame kid. He was a captain, 2'6", so he's actually a little bit smaller than I thought. Yeah. I thought he was more the tweener 280 range. But he is apparently a very solid football player. I guess we will just pass on him since I don't know enough about him. Kind of looking for some more guys that stood out. Tyler Beatty was so good for Missouri, but you guys just have too many running backs. You don't need running backs. Let's see here. We got, it's slim pickings now. Chris Allen from Bama is not bad. What is the tight end situation looking like, by the way? What's the deal there with David Njoku?
I mean, I think Njoku's the best out of all of them. Hooper has just been super. The most. I don't even know what to say about Hooper. Just super underwhelming. Pay that guy so much money. He's just so overpaid now for the production he gets.
Yeah,
Well,
he's
that's
pretty
the thing with
vanilla.
this team. Like they didn't have, I believe they didn't have a single 600-yard wide receiver / tight end this year,
That's crazy. Yeah,
and
it's
they don't
not
have a
good.
single player with 5 or more touchdown catches. So it's like I don't know if I blame these guys that are producing, or do I blame Baker?
Baker. Yeah,
You
that's a
know,
good. That's a
it's
good point. Yeah.
so, but Hooper's another guy who's getting paid way too much money. He might be a cut that they make this year.
You look at the most prolific offenses and they have a one. Like that's the key. Like
Yeah,
the Packers, Devonta Adams, the Rams, Cooper Kupp. I mean Tom Brady and the Bucks. Like they have more.
they just
It's a
have
little bit more
everybody.
spread. Yeah, they have 3 guys. Well, maybe 2
Three
now
guys
without AB.
yeah,
But
2 now. Yeah, but they have 2 guys that could be wide receiver ones.
yeah, and so there's Bills with Stephon Diggs. Like there's examples of the best offenses. They have those top
Just that
alphas.
one guy.
The Browns don't. We got Chris Olave, who the thing is, I'm more optimistic about Garrett Wilson being the alpha, like a big, like star receiver, and then Chris Olave is just more of like going to be a super solid dude.
Yeah. No, 100%. Yeah, if Garrett Wilson fell to them at 13, that'd be incredible.
Johnny Woods, the guy. He's at Virginia now. He's down in the dumps. He's like 6'8" at tight end. He's kind of a freak of nature, but I don't. I'm not very wowed by the tight ends. I was kind of looking. There's been some guys that I've liked, but it's getting Justin Schaefer. He's from Georgia too. Andrew Stuber, Mish guy.
Andrew Stuber, yeah.
Shout out. Yeah, we're just gonna go back to the big board and take the best available because it's getting down in the dumps. I'm gonna take this kid from Notre Dame. I'm gonna get more film on him. Apparently he's a stud. I watched him a little bit against I think Purdue. Flashes. I don't want to talk much about him before I at least get a game of him. And that might do it for the Browns here. We'll see. We might have one sprinkled in late 7, and then I'll just close my eyes and press plus on one of these kids. But it's getting bare. Bubba Bolden's a guy from Miami that he's fallen. He was projected to be maybe a day 2 pick. Jack Sanborn from Wisco. You probably know that name by now with Michigan. I mean, that dude's feel like he's been at Wisconsin for like 7 years.
I know. That's how it is with every single Wisconsin player.
Yeah.
I remember that guy when I was like 12.
It's because they all like John Taylor's was like, see, he was only there for 3 years. He seemed like he was there for like 90 because he's a stud freshman. All right, here's our haul. Chris Olave at 13. I mean, I'd rather have it be Garrett Wilson, to be honest. That being said, I will settle for Chris Olave. He's my wide receiver 2. We addressed the desperate what you were just talking about with not over 600 yards for anybody. That's pathetic.
Yeah.
Nick Bonito, we reach a little bit for a very high-end pass rusher. The thing is, Myles Garrett's going to be drawing a lot of the running back chips, the tight end chips, the double teams. If you leave Nick Bonito one-on-one with the tackle and pass rush, he's going to win. And so I like that. He's, again, a guy with really, really good length, really, really good explosive get-offs. Just needs to put it together and be better in the run game. And again, I feel like it was a mentality thing. I feel like he was just thinking he was going to rush the passer every snap, so then he just wasn't filling his run gaps. Travis Jones from Connecticut, the defensive tackle, the monster. And I like this because we're balancing out Nick Bonito a little bit. It's like we're getting a guy who specializes in pass rush, Nick Bonito, and then guy Travis Jones who specializes in being a dog in the middle and stopping the run, taking on double teams. Then we get Channing Tindall. He's one of my pet cats. Like I think this dude's going to be a stud in the NFL. George Pickens, high ceiling wideout. Hell yeah. I mean, imagine if Chris Olave and George Pickens hit. I mean, I feel like Olave's a lock. Pickens, man, if he hits, dude. Jamari Salyer, adding depth at offensive line. Max Mitchell, further depth, high ceiling type of guy. And then we finish with Myron. I'm just going to call him MTA. Again, he's a guy I want to watch more of. I've read a little bit about him. I've seen a little bit about him. But I'll get back to y'all on him. So, Logan Hoover, thank you for joining me, trying to just rebuild a desperate fan. You don't need to rebuild. I shouldn't call it.
No, they don't need to rebuild.
But it's just a franchise that just underperforms every year.
Yeah, no, I guess. Yeah,
So
sure.
it
If you
is
want to say that.
it is what it is.
Yeah.
Appreciate
See.
everybody watching us. It's been a pleasure. We'll be back more with obviously some more mock drafts and positional rankings. Until then, peace.